POV photo. I am so happy to be here with you today.
Isn't it crazy?
Crazy. You have done so much within this past year, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I feel like I don't need to introduce him because he's a personality of his own. He's a character, and you're going to love him.
I try.
This is my dog's gay uncle. The gunkle.
The gunkle, yes.
Yeah.
Name I gave myself.
Yeah, no, the dogs fucking love you, and I don't know what it is. Maybe Chanel just knows.
She just knows. When I cuddled her on the couch, we were best friends after that.
Yeah, I've never seen her spoon someone for that long.
All morning.
Not even me. Well, granted, I do push her away.
Yeah, you're not.
Because she gets warm. Doesn't she get warm?
She's like a heater pack.
Yeah, I know. So, okay, I guess I do need to introduce Jaden. So Jaden was one of the photographers that followed me for a while. Wasn't that kind of what happened? Mm-hmm. And I had no idea who he was, but he was like just a sweet person that followed me and commented on my stuff. And I was just like, And like, I'm very big on like not really getting close to many photographers in the industry. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I feel like there's almost unwanted drama that kind of comes within being in the clique of being in that group. Mm-hmm. And I was very adamant at the time to not make any friends in the industry. Not to be like
you stuck to yourself, and
I'm not like trying to say like I'm better than everyone. No, yeah. I just like
I watched your ground with everybody, and like,
I'm very careful because it's business, it's my life, it's my career, and I don't want any drama to come with that. I want it to be peaceful and a good time always.
Period.
But I realize now you kind of need friends in the industry to have second shooters and such. Mm-hmm. And you can't just be like reaching out to people that you never spoke to before.
It's kind of so awkward because now you just have random people reaching out to you. I'm like, oh, I want a second shoot for you. I want to work with you. But I'm like, from a perspective now that we've been shooting so long, we're like, oh, like I don't trust you. Like I don't know you. It's weird. Like that's why I'm like very picky with my friends. I'm also friends with a lot of people in the photography industry.
He's the polar opposite of me.
Yeah, we're polar opposites of that. Trish is like, I feel like I'm your only photography friend, right?
Technically
besties, but
yeah. I have friends like like colleagues, I would call them.
Acquaintances.
Yeah, but like I don't invite them over to my house and stay up till like make you pasta and wine and have you sleep on my couch and after like 13 hours of straight editing. I don't do that with anyone.
No one.
No, it's a sacred realm that I have, and you've been welcomed into it.
I got welcomed into it.
Yeah, because you kind of keep it healthy, and I feel like for artists, it's pretty easy to compare.
Oh,
don't
definitely.
You agree?
It's honestly still like on my mind 24/7, but like you just get over it and just like move on from it a little bit. I feel like each year.
How do you deal with that when you feel like you're going through an episode of just like constant comparing and what's it called, imposter syndrome and all that stuff? Because it's very common.
It's very common, especially in the creative industry right now. But one of the biggest things that I've learned within this past 2 years is honestly getting rid of social media, not being on it that much, not really looking on Instagram. Like,
fuck Instagram.
Honestly, I'm so over Instagram. It's not even worth the time.
We don't even try anymore. But we still
unless
get
you got a reel, you don't mean shit on there.
Yeah, I hate reels.
Oh, same. And I'm not like, I could be a fun person behind the camera like when I want to be, but like the fact that it's only real like based content on Instagram right now just sucks. And like, I feel like now with that being there, I feel like the competitiveness and like people, I don't know, judging each other is even more just because like their videos of like your actual personality, like you're fully presenting yourself out there, not, and usually you're behind the camera.
Reels are so, I'm not shitting on anyone that makes reels and like thrives through making them, but I just feel like you put up such a facade.
Oh, definitely. The amount of people and influencers I see that like put on such a fake ego just in front of the camera just to get a certain amount of likes and views, it makes me sick.
I know. Like, they stand in front of the camera and they're holding the camera and they, do their peppy little dance and then they show off their stuff.
Exactly.
I'm like, come on, that's not you. You're like the most chill introvert that I've ever met.
I've seen so many different photographers. Like I've had second shoot for me and stuff, and then they like start posting all over the gram and stuff, and it's completely not who they are. And like they're telling their couples
personality shock right there.
Exactly. Like, oh, this is what I have to offer. But when you see them in real life, are they really like that, or is it just like a fake ego?
Okay, speaking of that, isn't it crazy? Like we're pretty extroverted people, right? I don't know how introverted, like antisocial photographers do it. Like, do you just like put up a different persona when you work, or do you really have to really put out a personality that you've hidden?
I feel like you almost like have to like just be true to yourself within the moment, just because sometimes words and people just like think about, I don't know, honestly don't even know what to really talk about with this subject, but like I feel like people are almost like fake in front of other people, and that's like a huge thing in this industry. And then
I don't know, it's kind of terrifying.
It's kind of terrifying just because
like for us it's just
it's
just
the photographers that are
us.
just like very like at their desk, like don't talk to anybody. I'm like, I don't know how you guys do that, because like this is your job to be able to like wow your clients, like making sure like
Literally.
you're like on top of your game like 24/7 type stuff. So I
think we both have like worked under or like shadowed in some sort.
I would not be here without literally one of my best friends is a wedding photographer, Kaylee, and she is a complete introvert, and we're complete opposites, but I feel like we like balance each other out almost, just because like I'm like the very
we fill each other's cup in that way.
And that's why I feel like it's really perfect in the industry, just because some people are very, very picky who they pick to be friends with in the industry, and that's what I've learned. Like I'm very, very picky, just because
you have to be.
People are shady now these days. Like they steal your locations, they steal like some of your clients sometimes. I'm like, dude, what?
That's
I'm like,
the boundary that we have. We never
compete. And that's what I love about it.
And like if I ever have moments where I'm like comparing my work to yours, I take a step back.
Exactly.
And it's okay to take a step back from friends that are in the same work industry as you.
Exactly.
Because your mental health matters more than
about
like,
someone else's photos, how they look like, and the amount of like engagement they're getting.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter one bit.
Because ultimately, we're getting the same amount of bookings, we're getting the same amount of clients, we're getting our schedules filled to the brim.
And some people act like it's so like there's not that many clients in Arizona. When I tell you, like there's hundreds and like hundreds of clients that are looking for photographers.
The demand is
like,
always there too.
It's always going to be there. That's why I feel like people like struggle with like accepting that. Like it's hard to like be able to like move up in the industry and have like your clients trust you and be able to put this huge show on in front of them. But in reality, it's kind of just all a front sometimes. And I feel like that's just like a huge thing.
Yeah, I just feel like it's not, for us at least for me personally, I'm not at that place in my life anymore where I constantly feel like I have to compete in order to
and once you pass that stage, it's like the best stage ever.
To gain my clientele, because I've already I have like...
You have an amazing clientele that books you out in advance. Like that's like the type of clients that we all want and need. And like
I have
we're not struggling to book at all. So I'm like...
I know, like in the most humble way of saying it, like I do get booked out 9 months ahead of time. And like a lot of my photographer friends ask me like, how does that happen? And I'm like, well, it's just kind of how my clientele works. My clients are around like 65% seniors, and I have already trained them, quote unquote, to book ahead of time, or else you're going to miss out on a spot. And then the rest of the percentage that fills up to 100% would be my wedding clients and my couples. Those clients are already booking out a year to a year and a half in advance.
Exactly.
So those clients are the skeleton almost, that whatever's open will be filled for my seniors.
Exactly.
So within that, the schedule gets filled up immediately.
And that's just literally blocking your schedule out too in advance, like making it a very open but still very booked schedule. And that's what I feel like a lot of photographers should do. Just not market themselves every single day, like, oh, I have this day open, I have this date open, like market in advance.
You make yourself too accessible then, because then you're setting up
you want
others
people
for failure.
to want you and book with you and like be so excited.
Put yourself and your time as a priority, and your clients will do the same for you.
Exactly.
And expect nothing less, because what I've noticed for some photographers, like that travel a lot or have other side jobs or whatever, they make their schedule accessible within the 3 months within the time of now. So they're only looking forward for the 3 months. They're not looking forward to the year.
The rest of the year, and it's not reliable.
Yeah. Well, it is, but it isn't.
To a certain extent sometimes, yeah.
Because in a way, when you are only making yourself accessible for just this short span of time, in a way, it limits your possibilities of booking. Because the clients sometimes need
a little push
and a little bit more planning. Because some people are very much like, oh, I can only do this time, and this time. Have you noticed that?
Oh, it's been...
Some photographers set us up for failure. Do you know what I mean? Because
they have the stigma, like, with booking shoots at these random times and all this stuff. And, like, well, this one photographer... Yeah, and, like, this one photographer wants, like, this time, like... Or it had this many outfits, or, like, it was this price. I'm like, okay, we're all different. Like...
We offer different things, and that is the reality of it. Like, Jaden offers different things for his senior packages, and I offer different things. And we offer different experiences, too. Like, I'm never going to be, like, I think a couple of my clients either went to you or to me.
Yeah.
Like,
it went both ways.
Yeah. So we've had clients that have reached out to both of us, and then we kind of put 2 and 2 together. We're like, hey, wait a minute. They reached out to both of us. That's kind of funny. But I never take it to heart because I offer a very different experience than what Jaden can offer, and Jaden does the same.
I feel like every photographer should be offering a different experience and not, like, copying or, like...
Yeah.
Like, just put an experience out there that, like, your couples and your seniors all want to see, and not just, like, be someone else that you're not trying to be.
Yeah, like, stop.
The best advice I could give right there, because I learned that, like, the long way. Like, I would compare myself like no other. When I first started out, like, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, look at all these huge photographers. Look at how, like, many followers they have. Like, their style. Like, and now here I was, like, editing in Lightroom on my phone type stuff. So I'm like, okay, makes more sense now. Like, they're a lot older than me. They've been in the industry for a lot longer. Like, they have their reasons why they're like this. And I'm like, that's, like, how I want it to be. And that's why...
Do you think you found your style?
I don't know. It changes all the time. Like,
it really does. I feel like you're in the process of getting there.
Like, I've almost gotten my style, like, to the T how I like it, but there's still a few things missing that I'm just trying to, like, perfect it. And, like, that's why I'm, like, really excited for, like, my whole, like, website, like, relaunch and everything, just because with that website relaunch, it's just gonna be, like, a whole different brand and everything.
Oh, you still haven't finished it?
Oh, not finished it yet.
Sir,
I know.
We've been at this since the beginning of summer. Like, when I told you about our sleepover, he was working on that for maybe, like, a month beforehand.
Okay, designing a website's a lot of work.
I know, but you had all summer, sis.
I've been traveling.
I know, this kid travels so much, and I cannot imagine my life being like that.
It's so hectic. Like, literally, I feel like I'm living out of a suitcase 24/7 when I'm, like, gone. It's
You're
horrible.
like Jimmy's song. Do you know Jimmy's song?
Yes. The senior photographer in UVA, right? Yeah.
He literally travels to Asia, like, all the time. Europe. I think he was in France or Italy. He just got back to Arizona, and he's like, who wants to kick it? I'm like, dude,
like,
take a nap.
Take a nap real quick.
Like, go get a facial, like, rest, and then come back, and we can rage. Like, I think you're okay.
No, definitely. Well, I feel like we should change the subject a little bit and talk about Trish's love life, just because we haven't seen each other in, like, I feel like 3 weeks, just because I've been so busy. But now I'm like, she's all booed up. She has a man in here. I am still single. So let's talk about it, Trish.
You just really called me out like that.
I did. Hey, Michael.
Yeah, so Jaden's kind of missed a whole last chapter out of my life.
Oh, literally, I was just going through my Snapchat one day, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to check Trish's story real quick. And I was like, saw a whole ass man on her story. I was like, what? Trish has a boyfriend? I was in shock, but I loved it for her.
Yeah, the news is out. I have a boyfriend. He's
Surprise!
Surprise! Hard launch.
Hard launch.
Hard launch on the podcast. Yeah, stop doing that.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Yeah, stop pounding the table. What's it called? Yeah, so I have a boyfriend, my first ever boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the weirdest thing ever, like, in the best way possible. Because I've spent, 22 years of my life not having to compromise my time or share my time and my
it's a lot.
sacred personal space, you know? I'm very much like...
You're a very boss-ass bitch. Like, you're very on the go. Like, you focus mostly on your business, and that's what, like, I love about you. Yeah. But at the same time, Trish needs to let someone in order to let her loose a little bit sometimes.
And, like, it's so funny because I always thought that I would be with someone that was in the creative industry in a way. That was never a requirement, but that's kind of just what I envisioned. But he does the complete opposite. He's in supply chain and all that stuff. He's a corporate boy. Man, I would say.
Oh, man. Love that. Oh.
No, that's like the biggest difference of like this relationship.
She said no.
This relationship and all my past flings. Like, this is a true man. Like, he makes me feel protected, happy, like, just, he fills up my cup in, like, the perfect way. And he's taught me so much about standing my ground. I feel like, you know me, I'm very much a people pleaser. I'm very kind. I open myself up to everyone until they do something to fuck it up. And then my trust is revoked.
Exactly.
Versus for him, you have to build that trust and you have to earn it. And I definitely feel like he's taught me a lot about like just learning how to respect myself and learning to, I don't know, take charge and see life in a different way and not letting people step all over me.
Exactly.
And I think that's like so crazy that he's teaching me these things because I thought I already knew so much about myself, and
then you have someone else open you up and you're like, whoa, this is a whole different.
Exactly. And you know, I kind of went through, it's funny because he yanked me out of my hot girl summer era. And I told him that.
About it. I was
going through my villain era.
Right now. I'm like, damn proud of you, Trish, right now. That's the point.
So
and then she got booed up, so.
Yeah, so it was funny because even before I met him, I wanted to do an episode with like one of my girlfriends or something, and we're going to talk about how to poach a guy in the club and how to do your hot girl lap in the club.
I tell you, Trish has like a whole set plan. When she enters the bar, she knows exactly what she wants and she will get it. And that's on period.
Yeah, so villain Trish has retired.
That was fast.
Yeah. I had my 3 months of fun, and now I'm retired and happily in a relationship. And it's the weirdest thing, but like I'm so happy, you know?
That's good.
But no, seriously, ladies, if you're single or if you're a little sparkly little Jaden here, my word of advice is to just do you and live life and do not focus on the relationship aspect of like searching and keeping an eye out or finding the potential in this guy.
I feel like a relationship should be like building each other, like helping each other out, making sure the other one's fine. Like I feel like that is a perfect relationship instead of like comparing yourself to other relationships or like always second guessing what like the other like significant other's talking about. Or, like,
see, this is my thing is like before I always second guessed like any guy that I was with.
I think
like,
we're just overthinkers. And
it's not even that. They would give us reasons to second guess or if like, you'll see on TikTok, they'll say like, if he makes you second guess or doubt or question or if he makes it not clear what he wants and he doesn't vocalize like what his intentions are, cut him out. Like it is so true. Like I've never felt so reassured in my entire life. Like he tells me exactly how he feels, what his goals are. That's the type of man
like that everybody should get, just because people just hide their emotions so much. And like when you're dating someone, I feel like you should be open to say whatever and like,
yeah,
because it's a teamwork effort, not just a one-on-one match.
Yeah, and that's exactly how things should be in a relationship. It's not like, does he like me?
Here am I giving relationship advice and I haven't even been in a relationship before, so.
I mean, that's how I was for 22 years. Like, I've literally, like in high school or in college, I constantly gave out relationship advice. Like, my friends would be crying on the phone to me, and I'd be like, this is what you're going to do.
Being the gay bestie with all my bitches, I like to say, I have to deal with, like, one relationship right after the other relationship, going on to the next relationship, and it's just like a constant like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? And yeah, I'm calling you Abby and Derek, but yeah, that's one right there that
Abby
always
Derek.
Perfect.
her.
Praying for them right now. They just went on a trip to Hawaii, so I'm like, maybe they are back together now. But having to hear things like from other couples and just like as a friend point of view and like hearing them both cry out for help and like, oh, I want that. It's hard because like I don't know really what advice to give them just because I don't have experience.
You know what I have finally realized? Like a relationship is so beautiful and it's so fun and it's so different than your single life and all that stuff. But it is hard as hell because you're opening yourself up to be vulnerable, and I never realized how hard that was.
Oh, it is.
Like I never used to be a crier. Like I would say I was a pretty cold person usually most of the time, unless like a person that I was talking to was like really fucking things up with me, then I'd cry about it. But I was very much like, it's whatever. I'll move on. Doesn't hurt, whatever. But because I'm in this relationship, I'm like so open, so vulnerable, and so like simpy that like I find myself crying to him all the time, and he'll be like, "What's wrong?" Like he'll just be holding me. He's like, "What's wrong?"
Like, what is going on right now?
I'm like, "Oh, I'm just happy." You make me so happy.
I feel like that's a very good thing to have in a relationship, just because. Obviously, you've been waiting for this, not me.
We've been waiting for
this moment for a long time. So I feel like waiting and like actually finding like the person that you like, even if it isn't like whatever, like you learn so much when you're in a relationship, and I feel like it's like a good time for you to be in one and like experience it finally. And
yeah, no, definitely, it's hard, but it's so worth it because. I don't know. I feel like I'm finally seeing a different side of Trish. I'm turning a new leaf.
I know.
Like I'm not a whore anymore.
Goodbye. The podcast is over. She's not a whore? Yay!
No more tea for y'all. No more tea for y'all. There's no more tea going on that end. But you know what? I really want all my single people to really focus on themselves and find who they really are, because that is what a man looks for. A girl that really focuses on herself and her passions and knows exactly what she wants in life. Because realistically, guys kind of suck at like planning ahead and knowing what they want to do in 10 years.
Exactly.
You know, and having a woman that really has her shit together and
like knowing what she wants and like
has a plan.
Exactly.
It's hot. Like one of my like green flags to Michael was that like I was, you know, an entrepreneur and I was a boss bitch, you know. I take care of my family. I know what I want, and like I am, you know, very much independent in the sense of my business and like who I am, all that stuff. Like I'm very much like a self-made woman.
Yourself. Exactly, and that's what.
And I definitely feel like that was one of his like
green flags.
Yeah, like,
I'm interested.
Yeah, exactly. Like we had on our first date, we talked about that like for so long, and like our goals and all these things. So
and I feel like just going into a relationship without knowing someone's goals or what they want in life, and like just going head first like with anything, sounds like a recipe for disaster from like my point of view. Just because I feel like you want to know the person, you want to be able to experience what they want to experience and be able to, I don't know, like.
No, I get it.
Be one together.
Yeah, it's cute to be able to grow together and find what you are passionate about together, but it's also really hard.
Oh, definitely.
So like having that time to really figure that out yourself is really important, especially if you're trying to build something with someone. And like I know I sound kind of like stupid and not very educational in the sense that like I don't really know what I'm doing with like this relationship.
Oh, no
like,
one knows what they're doing in a relationship.
I really like I've never done this before.
A learning process.
And like there are things that I fuck up in a relationship and I don't really understand why I fucked up, and he has to explain like, honey, you can't do this.
You can't do this.
You can't do this. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Single me could have done that, but relationship me cannot do that.
Nope.
My bad.
Nope.
Sorry, sweetie. Nope. Yeah. So
if you don't mind, I can also add some input to that as well.
Tell me.
So, I mean, I'm the same way. Oh, by the way, this is Colby. I'm the guy in the background. I don't know if anybody's heard him before.
We love him.
But I understand like what she's saying, because a lot of the time when you get into a relationship, especially if it's your first one, you're conditioned to like your own beliefs, where it's like you're so used to saying things into your head and it just becomes common nature. So when you have like somebody outside of your perspective try to like guide you into a certain path where it's like, I never thought like that before. Or it's like you just never have like a perspective in that way to try to like make you think of a different way. That's the thing that like ends up making you grow more. And at the same time, it's difficult, but you kind of just have to let it happen.
Period.
See, I freaking love it when Colby chimes in. It's like moments of wisdom getting tossed into the
commercial break.
I know. No, this is like
wisdom.
No, it's like a little, I guess, an ad commercial, a little ad on like YouTube videos.
Ad break here.
He has like the SoundCloud. He has
the voice
the
of
Spotify commercial voice. Say like something like
And you're listening to.
Hi, thanks for listening to Spotify.
I told you.
For real.
Listen to this for 30 minutes of ad-free music.
Listen to this. 30 minutes of ad-free listening. Brought to you by Spotify.
They should hire you.
I love that so much. But yeah, no, Colby is so right.
Mm-hmm.
They bring in these new ideas and like perspectives for you, and you're just like,
mm-hmm.
I never saw it that way.
Exactly.
And I think, do you have fun with your life, be a hoe, whatever, and then someone will magically just straighten you out too. Like you may be like kind of
I'm waiting, time's ticking.
You're like a pool floaty right now. You're a little curvy, whatever. Maybe that's the wrong like comparison.
I like that analogy. That's pretty good actually.
Whatever. But like they straighten you out once like you're together, because they give you insight on their end. They're like, I want to make you better. Like he tells me all the time, he sees my full potential and he wants to help me get there. And I've never had anyone say that to me. Even my parents.
It's just us that believes in ourselves, because like we're wedding photographers. A lot of people have that like, stigma of not believing that we're gonna actually become something. But
like I've never had someone root for me the way that he does. And
I'm gonna start crying.
No, it's like I cried to him about this, and I was just like, I have always felt like so alone, in the sense that like I'm fending for myself. I'm doing everything to prove to everyone else that I am worthy of your time, your love, and your compassion and your attention. Okay. Especially with my parents and all, like I've had to prove myself like year in, year out. And I feel like with him, it's just like when they believe in you and like who you can be and what you can become, then you start believing that yourself. Not that like I needed that before, because I was very confident in who I was before then. And I think that's very important, because if you walk into a relationship and your partner sees your potential, but you don't, you're going to think everything that he spews out of his mouth is bullshit.
Exactly.
And then they're hurt because they're like, wait.
I didn't expect this.
Yeah. Like, I'm rooting for you, but you don't root for yourself. That's not attractive.
No.
You know? So I think it's just very important that you work on yourself during the hot girl summer, single girl era.
Single girl era.
Own it. Have fun. Spend all that time getting drunk with your girlfriends. Like, do it all.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not saying I cut myself out of like my social life that I've had before. I don't do that. But when you're in a relationship now, like I finally understand, like I just want to spend like every waking moment with him and like just sit around and do nothing.
Yeah.
But we can't do that, obviously.
Because you have to remember why he fell in love with you in the first place.
We don't have like 25/8, you know, it's 24/7, you know. So
when people think that we get breaks or that we are like taking a little weekend off or a little work trip, it's never a little break. Like we're constantly
on the go.
On the go.
And it's really great, because honestly it kind of stressed me out in the beginning of the relationship. Like once my busy season hits, like how is it going to work out? And so far, we're slowly segueing into that era for me. October is like
the busiest.
Day one. I'm like September 30th or 29th or whatever.
The 29th is like I literally start my busy season.
Yeah, I'm going to Sedona with him. He's gonna be my +1.
Cute.
But I'm just gonna have him join me at the reception because why would he
come to the whole thing?
It's just a lot, and like I want him to have his R&R, rest and relax, you know. And it'll be our first like vacation getaway together.
Fun. And
so crazy.
Like a little romantic, like the vortex. You're in for a good awakening.
No, I'm really excited. I think it'll be good for us to like have a little bit of alone time without like people chiming in and trying to steal our time. I mean, I'll have very limited time to be with him.
But still, like the traveling up there, like being able to talk,
the drive,
like
and all that
it's
stuff.
a very still fun time for him. Like for both of you guys to get to know each other. I'm
excited.
Like,
oh my gosh, Michael's gonna be like, "Why are you guys talking about me the entire episode?"
This podcast is
sorry,
called
Colby. Oh my gosh, but do you feel like you? Okay, we're totally sidetracking now. Like moving on from Michael. Sorry, Michael, you were a hot topic for a second, but we got to move on. But okay, back to the photography industry.
Okay.
So you're the opposite of me.
Yes.
I'm not going to be friends with anyone. I'm going to keep my cool, my own corner. I'm going to do my own thing because I'm with seniors. I don't really need to have that many friends.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, you're more involved in the wedding industry.
I am, yes.
And he has a lot of, associates within that industry, and he's more well acquainted with the people that are photographers, okay? Do you feel like you have ever gotten dragged into drama without even realizing it?
Oh, definitely. It's a huge thing. Like, I'm not going to name any names, obviously, but there's like photographers that I used to be friends with in the industry that have done me dirty, and like still, let me just tell you, they're homophobic and they're homophobic. I caught them right in the act on their Instagram stories, but it's okay.
On their
like,
Instagram stories?
Yeah, but you know how like people post like what they believe in type stuff, and she was like, in our Christian family, we don't believe that gay marriage should be a thing. And like, both of them did it, so I was like,
no.
I just shook. So I'm like, I learned so many things from people, and like how I said earlier, like people put such a fake like ego on in front of you, like making it seem like they love you and like they welcome you and stuff, but then like they post stuff like that, and you're like,
ew.
You just told me that we were like friends and everything, but then you're like, obviously not, because you're talking shit about me basically on your story. So I'm like,
dang,
there's a lot of tea I feel like in the industry. Like I tried to keep myself out of it, but also the areas in me, I'm like, ooh, I'm like, give me all the tea. Like I hear stuff from the makeup artists, venues, photographers. Like it's crazy the amount of tea that's in this industry. Like I know when I come to you, you're like, don't tell me, I don't really care. But I'm like, oh, I got a whole lot of information right now for you.
It's not that I don't care and that I don't love, tea. We love boiling hot tea.
Oh, exactly.
But
see, I don't get myself involved.
I don't like to get zapped into it because I know I'm that type of girl that loves the tea. So if I get a little sippy sip of it, I'm going to want the whole pot.
Oh, and
then I'm going to have to get a refill. You know what I mean? So I don't want that. I don't want that at all. And like, I just want, I don't want to see people differently, which I'm not saying like I will tolerate bad behavior or bad toxicity like that. I will not tolerate that, especially in that sense of like being homophobic and all that disgustingness.
Exactly.
I don't tolerate that bullshit. However, if it doesn't involve my business, if they don't tarnish my name, I'm not going to involve myself.
That's why I keep my mouth shut by like just like to tell like you, Kaylee.
And plus it keeps the environment a little healthy.
It's friendly to like just in case if anything did happen between us, I ran into them at a wedding or just at a shoot. It's not going to be that awkward like, hey, like I don't like you.
Arizona's kind of small.
Oh, the amount of photographers you run during senior season is disgusting.
Old Main, ASU,
Coons Bluff,
my office,
all over.
Yeah.
I have random little people come up to me. Oh my gosh, you're Jaden from your senior page. I'm like, yeah, it's me. I'm just doing my job.
Yeah. I know. I
try to be nice, but I'm just like a very like if I don't know you type thing right away, I'm not going to be overly friendly. I'm not going to be overly welcoming. I'm like, just get on with your day type thing. I'll say hi, but that's about it.
I'm the same way. Like I'll have I told you I've met like a couple of my clients at the club. They'll like literally tap me on the shoulder, and I'm like, hi. I have no idea who you are, and I'm kind of tipsy right now. This is kind of an awkward place to meet you. And they're like, oh, I'm your senior in 2023. Mm-hmm. Like I met this sweet girl, Eliza, and she is my senior this upcoming spring.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I just booked you like 2 weeks ago. I just need to sign your contract. I'm like, yeah, sis, get that done.
Get that done.
But it's just like such a strange way of meeting your clients. But like,
because then you're like, show up, you act so professional and stuff, and you're like,
want to go to the Casa afterwards?
Exactly.
Let's walk to Casa.
That's how it was with one of my seniors, Liberty. We first met at Chongos in Mexico during spring break, and I was like, Chongos. I was fucked up. Like I was barely could even walk. I was just
he was
going
yakking on the side streets.
Basically yakking, and she comes up to me. She's like, "You're Jaden. You're taking my senior photos," and I was like, "Oh."
Purr.
I'm like, "Purr, yes," and like so we take shots together and everything like that. But I'm just like,
couldn't be me.
Oh, see, I take shots with my brides.
Yeah, like I'll take shots with my brides.
Oh, but not when you're out.
No.
I only did it once, and it was a regretful decision.
I'm like, I'll see you at Old Main.
I'll see you in 2 weeks in Sedona, but
yeah, no, I'll.
There are
always
certain
drink
clients
with my
where I'll be like, ooh, like I'm good, like a high and by type scenario.
Yeah,
but
exactly. I like to keep it professional at in the most controlled way that I can. You know,
Snapchat says otherwise.
My Snapchat is a different breed. I'm sorry.
You in Nashville?
Oh my God, we don't talk about Nashville. I have a boyfriend. Stop. Actually, I think he knows about Nashville. I already told him a lot. I was, single in my peak fuck men era. Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't like hateful of men. I was just like, I am loving being single. Like I loved.
Oh, it's so fun.
That was first week of May. First week of May, summer had just started, and I was like, let's go shake some ass in Nashville, get me a country white boy,
the
all this stuff.
Snapchats I got from you that night were appalling. But I loved it. It was so funny, though.
That's why they called me Patty Daddy.
I feel like you should explain what is Patty Daddy.
So Patty Daddy is my alternate ego. She is a menace to society. I don't get drunk easily.
Oh,
my tolerance.
It takes you forever to get drunk.
My tolerance is up there because I went out almost every weekend since 2021 basically. So it's been like a year and a half, 2 years now of me going out every fucking weekend.
Oh yeah, getting
trash, whatever. And now it takes me, ever since I started dating Michael, I don't really go out like that anymore. Yeah. So my tolerance is kind of
tied down a little bit,
thank God, because it was getting expensive. And so it would take me so let's say we're sitting at a table at Old Town tables. Okay. It would take me around 9 drinks to get tipsy. To get tipsy. Yeah.
I like 2 drinks. I'm on the pool. So.
To get me drunk would be 15 drinks, and then in shot wise, it takes me 8 shots to be like.
So word of advice: if you want to go with Trish, don't, because she's very expensive.
Yeah, please don't. Don't invite me out, because I will be taking care of your ass, and I'll be like, oh my God, why am I sober? But this weekend, I am going out with my boyfriend and my girlies. If you want to join this Saturday.
I don't have something. I have photo shoots every single day, but
I'm doing a photo shoot too. No, we're going at 8. So if you want to, hey, come meet us at Casa at 8, guys. Oh wait, you guys won't even be there.
A month later, they're like, so where's Trish at?
Yeah, a month from now, they're like, oh, let's go to Casa and meet Trish. Sorry, guys. That was a month ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah, we're pre-recording. But yeah, the invitation extends to all of you guys in this room.
Exactly.
Come meet us at Casa after the game. ASU is going to lose probably to Utah. That's just what my dad said, so I'm just going to say that. My dad thinks that ASU this year sucks. So
haven't they
they've literally lost all the easy games.
Exactly.
So
I'm not a huge sports fan. I don't really watch anything
awful.
like that.
It's not been good.
It's not been good. They're supposed to be easy wins too, and they lost.
Didn't NAU beat them?
No, they actually beat NAU.
Oh, okay.
But every other game after that, they've lost.
Yeah, which is uncalled for ASU.
Yeah, and then also they just lost their head coach this past
week.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah. Boyfriend's changing me. He's all about college football, and I'm hearing all about it.
I'll be like,
my dad loves professional football.
Oh, same. My dad, you can't talk to him on Sunday at all when he's watching.
I'm getting
football.
outnumbered here. So it's in the family now is my brother, my dad, Louie, now Michael's the honorary member. So it's like, so Asian culture, I don't know if this is like applicable to all Asian families, but like once you've been like introduced to the family, you're a part of the family.
Yeah.
Like we will back you. We will die for you. We'll kill for you. Like we will take care of you.
Yeah.
So basically it's part of the family now. And I just feel like outnumbered. Like my mom, it's like me. Oh, well, technically, yeah, it's kind of the same, but we're kind of outnumbered. The girlies out here are struggling.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Poor Chanel.
Dude, Chanel is so mistreated. Like, everyone just favors Louis because
I don't even like Louis. Louis barked in my ear all night that night. And
dude,
Chanel's
Louis is
a
prick.
Yeah,
Louis is a fucking prick.
If Louis was a dog, I'd probably be homophobic.
Louis is not homophobic. Let me just say that. He's just not.
Just yaps at me.
He doesn't like men.
Whatever.
He doesn't like tall, dark, and handsome men.
Stop.
So, yeah. That's my hunt about Louis. He has a personality of his own.
He really does.
Yeah. But, okay. I don't know how much time we've gone on this because I feel like it's so easy to talk to you. Like this is just like us at lunchtime. We talk about boys and work drama, and we fill each other in on our ends.
Yes.
It's so fun.
We're at 42 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So I definitely wanted to see, obviously, like, you know how like it worked out for me and Michael, but like, how is it for you? How's dating life for Mr. Jaden?
It's nothing right now, which I'm honestly proud of because I'm just focusing on myself mostly. And I feel like that's just the way to go right now, just because I'm so busy. Like, I don't even have time for myself to like be able to relax. Like, I'm constantly editing, constantly shooting.
Are you trying to pursue anything?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, like,
so you're not talking
don't
to
get
anyone?
me wrong. Like, of course, like I'm on like the dating apps and stuff, but I'm not like, I want a boyfriend type thing. Like,
I want a boyfriend.
I want a boyfriend like Trish. No, but like, honestly,
I want to go on double dates.
I want to go on double dates. I want a couple's photo shoot.
I want a couple's photo shoot. That's been my dream.
For real, I'm like, oh, I already know.
I'm like, Michael, I know we've been dating for like 2 weeks, but like, can we do a photo shoot, please?
He's like, goodbye.
The only time we would ever do a photo shoot this early on is if it was a styled photo shoot.
I'll put you in a wedding dress.
Michael would definitely say no to that. I'm sorry, but I will be a bride on my own.
Period.
Solo bride shots. Only.
Honestly, yeah, I'm not really talking to anybody.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and like honestly, I'm still figuring out.
The Grafton is hot out here.
Yeah, and I still figuring out so much about myself. Like, I just recently came out to like within this year.
How was the response?
The response was amazing. Like, all my friends, family, like everybody was amazing. It was everything I could have dreamed of. Like, little Jaden was so happy because I was able to like finally like tell my story and like have people know what's going on with my life.
You know what I was thinking about? So I actually took his coming out photos. We did photos for each
Those
other.
Were so cute. Love, love.
TrishvTalks cover photo that you'll see on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. He took that. We traded headshots or whatever. But I was thinking like, how cute would have it been if you could have added like the last photo of baby Jaden?
I know. Like, the TikToks are like going viral now. Like,
I know. I feel like us as babies, we were so cute.
Oh, definitely. The little cute little bowl cuts, the little chubby. That's how I was. I was a chubby ass little baby.
I looked like a boy.
Oh.
I had like kiwi fuzz hair, like barely anything on my head.
If like you could imagine me as a kid, imagine the kid from Up, Russell. That was me as a kid.
Oh yeah, you definitely did look like Russell.
I was him for Halloween once year, but like
yeah, and you looked just like him. It was so cute. But yeah, no, I just feel like it's hard. Like before, obviously, my way of meeting Michael is just like different. But like,
I feel like dating
for people in our industry, we literally can't flirt with like our clients.
Oh,
we can't
not one
flirt.
bit. Like,
we can't
it's
really.
Unprofessional.
We can't flirt with the groomsmen. That's just kind of weird. And like, obviously, it's the pool of opportunity is a little bit smaller for you. I feel like, especially within our industry, because. It's like
there's not that many gay photographers out there. I'm just gonna say that right now.
That and then also your taking wedding photos for a heterosexual client.
So I'm like,
so
it's always been like a hard thing for me to even like understand relationships sometimes, because all I'm doing is shooting all these other couples until, like, yes, like this past year I've been doing like the LGBTQ like community and like couple sessions with them and stuff, but like other than that, like it's been very like one-on-one like boy and girl type thing, and just also hard because you're like, oh my gosh, like is this like the stigma, like do we not get any like photo shoots type thing? Like it's always like that rough little what if.
I am very open to shooting for anyone.
Oh,
it's
same.
just like the clientele that reaches out to me. Like I can't help that. I'm not saying like I don't take photos of like you know, girls alone. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like picking and choosing what I'm posting. It's just literally I don't have the clientele to like reach out.
No, and that's why I'm like, other photographers like really try to market themselves like being like, oh, like give me all the LGBT couples, give me all this. I'm like, first of all, it looks dumb on your part just because like you're only marketing out to them just because you want content with them type thing. Like if they're true clients or anything like that, they'll
like there's
reach
an
out,
ulterior motive.
and people like are so like, especially during Pride Month. Like I like Pride Month to a certain extent, but like
they're pushing it hard.
Like, I don't even post that much stuff about it, but like they're like,
I don't even think I posted anything. I was just like, yeah.
And like
Congrats.
they're posting like companies that like don't
that
even
makes me sound
support.
so cold and shitty. I'm so sorry.
She sent me a little message. Don't worry.
I'm like,
Happy Pride Month, baby.
Happy. No, what did I say to you? I sent you a text.
You did send me a text.
I think I sent you.
I remember
a
when
snap.
I woke up, I had like 10 different texts from all my friends, like literally like the most random out of
some
call
of your
things.
friends are ruthless.
Oh, they are.
I was just like sweet about it. I was like, Happy Pride Month, Lovey. I think I called him Lovey, and then like the next thing you showed me
was Abby. Like Abby was like, happy birthday,
yes,
you
it was
F-word.
fucking Abby. She was like, what did she say?
She called me the F-word.
Yeah.
But that's a normal thing with me and Abby. I give her full permission. We're like brother and sister, so.
Oh my gosh. So one time I posted on my story, it was like me and Brooke, or I don't know if it was me and Brooke. It was just like we got each other something, or we got the same drink as each other the same time, and I said like we're so gay for each other. And Jaden like sent me a snap. He's like, "How dare you?" And I kid you not, I had like my heart dropped. I was like, I
love doing this to people when they like
I
post
literally
like
was like,
gay
I
or, like,
fucked up. So I deleted it, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know if you're serious right now. If or like, I just like, I don't know. What am I allowed to say? What is
honestly,
like, what's the technicality here?
I feel like with my friends and like you and like really my close friends, I don't really care when people like it slips or when it just comes out in a funny way. But like when people are talking like say like as another
they
group,
just use it as
and
like,
they use it like just as a regular vocab word, I'm like, why? Like you could exchange that word for something else. Like if you're talking to me like and we're cool, like we're joking, like I'm gonna laugh my ass off with it. But like, if it's like direct like to
that's
someone,
how I feel about the R word.
Oh, same.
It makes me uncomfortable. Like
like literally when this
like
happens, like literally in my coming out post, like when people would say those words and stuff, I would get so defensive or I'll just walk away because I'm like,
literally,
like what's the meaning?
Like,
or, like,
do you not have any other words in your vocabulary?
Yeah. That's
there are like a gajillion words. That's probably
gajillion.
Gajillion's not even a word, but like you know what I'm trying to say. Of all the words in the dictionary, you had to use that word or this word, and I'm just like, you're so icky.
You're like icky and just like uncultured almost. Just like you don't know what is like. I feel like people are just following. And I'm not even
saying we're being sensitive. We're not sensitive people. We can take.
I can take it. Like I will take whatever, but like I will step back and I won't be friends with you type thing if it's like a constant thing. But like
if you think we're being sensitive by saying like you can't say this, you can't say that, then you are the problem.
I learned so much stuff in this industry just from other photographers, like clients, couples that are like, yes, it sucks.
Have you noticed so is the groomsmen?
Yes.
When they
every
get a
single
little
time,
tipsy,
I'm like, when they're tipsy, they start doing their little flirty thing and they start acting
what
like
is your
rude.
deal?
Yeah, I'm like,
no,
I'm just a normal person shooting your wedding.
That's
like,
why I always wear my
boundary.
ring. So this is a family heirloom ring, but it has real diamonds on it. It's like thick and.
Let me go in the dollar store to pick up a ring after this now.
No, just go on Amazon. Okay. You have like a ring. But when I wear this ring on this finger, no one bothers. It's like, I know in the club, the ring does not work at all. It does work to a certain extent, but like these horny motherfuckers don't care and they will pounce on you.
And some of them get gross too, and it's like their comments. I'm like,
I know.
What are you doing?
But when I wear this at wedding days, when I work, keeps them all away.
Keeps them off.
Yeah. My mom, literally before I started dating anyone, I think I was like 20. My my mom was like, how do you expect to find a partner when you're constantly wearing the ring on this finger? I'm like, that's the point.
Literally,
I don't want
weddings.
them. Like, I don't want them at all.
I feel like people go into weddings all the time and it's like, it's so much fun, all this stuff, but like, people like don't see the behind the scenes as much as we do.
We get some gruesome stuff that happens to us. We have to go through
stuff. We have to deal with people's words. I'm like, we get sometimes like words just attacked at us for no reason in weddings. I'm like,
okay, let's do a little what's worse or like would you rather? Okay. Who's worse? Bridezillas or momzillas?
Oh, definitely momzillas. They will turn into complete bitches. And I'm sorry to say that about people, but I'm like, they will like
it's not all. We're not saying all.
Yeah, not all. Like, oh,
but they just want to relive.
Couples,
they want to relive their wedding.
They want to relive their wedding day. They want to have exactly how they planned it, since maybe they paid for it. Like, they want it exactly how they.
It's not about you, mama.
Exactly.
It's
and that's like,
you.
I preach to my couples that I'm like, this is your wedding day, and I will make sure that no one fucks it up for you because you're paying all this money for here today. Like, you guys are in love. Like, enjoy every minute of it, because like weddings go by so fast, like especially in the back end, and also just being in it too, because I was just in one like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it goes super duper fast. And, like, people just, it blinks of an eye. And,
exactly, and it's the one of the biggest day of their lives.
There should be no drama at weddings.
Yeah, like shut up. Yeah, it's not about you.
Like, you're lucky that I even invited you, type thing.
Okay, who's weirder, groomsmen or the weird uncle with the camera?
Oh, the fucking Uncle Bob. Definitely the weird uncles.
Uncle
I get
Joe.
some weird
Joe.
weird uncles are like, oh, you want to take some pictures of me for my Tinder profile? I'm like, huh? I'm like, you're 60 years old. Like, you have a wife right over there. Like, chill out.
No, once the weird uncles get intoxicated, they get a little. Sometimes like they've gotten a little handsy too. They get a little handsy. Like, they put their arm over my shoulder sometimes, and I have to like shrug it off.
When people get drunk at weddings, like
that's why I take way too many photos at the reception sometimes, because I feel like I have to constantly look like I'm working.
Because if not, you're just standing around. Like, some people come talk to you.
They want to make you feel comfortable, which is very sweet.
Which I get, but like, I'm only gonna be comfortable with the bride and groom and possibly like a few other people. That's about it. Like, I don't need to be friends. I don't need to be friends with the whole wedding, everything like that. Like,
exactly.
I'm here to do a job type thing and serve my bride and groom. That's about it.
Seniors or couples?
Oh, this is so
Cannot
hard.
pick both. You can't pick both.
Okay.
Or plead the fifth.
I love seniors, but this is like exposed Jaden right now. Ooh.
No, you can have a preference. I tell my clients, because my clients ask me all the time, like, what do you like shooting the most? I always say seniors.
I would say, honestly, my couples and weddings, just because I feel like it's more of an experience, an intimate thing. Like, you get to know them, like, become friends with them type thing. Like, when you do their engagement photos, and then say if you do, say the dates, and then you do their actual wedding, like, you
build a connection.
Like, gain the connection with your bride and groom,
yes.
So it's a lot of fun. But like, with seniors, sometimes I'll absolutely love them, especially like the fun ones that get to like make me travel and stuff. But like, I feel like seniors are very repetitive and like very like.
That's why I get so burnt out at Old Main.
Like, if I shoot at a place for too long, I'll like forget how to pose type thing. But like, I'm like, grab your arm over here. Like,
yeah.
Like,
sometimes it feels like, wait, did I do this with you or my senior yesterday?
And I feel bad because I want to make sure everybody has a certain experience and like has a different one, but it's hard.
But then again, most of these clients expect to get those same photos for themselves.
Because that's why they're booking you. And that's why I've learned, like, with this past year.
It's okay to be repetitive with your seniors because that's what they're expecting for their photos. But if they're in the same sorority, like, oh my gosh, guys, I shot from, like, literally 20 Kaio girls.
Oh, gosh.
And I love them to death, but I literally shot them, like, weekend after weekend, weekend after weekend. And I was doing, like, I was trying so hard to like move them to different locations, not do it all at Old Main at the fountain and the stairs and all that stuff. But like, there are certain things where you can't like.
You just can't move, like, especially with grad photos.
You have to be repetitive with those.
Yeah.
And so like for me, I had to mentally remember like which girls that I did, like what pose in this certain location. It's fine. And like I had to remember all these poses that I did for these certain girls and make sure that I didn't overlap certain poses, and sometimes you just have to.
Exactly, it's a normal thing.
And I just like, I don't know, I get into my own head about that. But
I feel like I'm very now like exactly treat every one of my senior sessions exactly the same almost, just because I know so well like what the next step is. I already know the next pose. I already know what's gonna happen next.
Exactly.
Like how long the outfit's gonna take to like put on stuff. Like
my talent right now, I love whenever I like check the time. So
My sessions are usually from an hour to at most an hour and 15 to 30 minutes, okay? My talent now is being able to control the session time so that it ends exactly within an hour.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I feel like
and getting all the shots that I need.
This past week, I've done like I think 2 senior sessions, and it was my first time like going back into it right away, just because now with seniors graduating, it was hard for me to like get used to like, okay, this is what I have to do now. But like now that I'm like did that rundown, I'm like I'm ready for give me like 30 seniors right now. I'll do them all at once. Like
literally give it all to me. It's just like so easy now. Okay, what else should we do? You should ask me one.
And I'm gonna ask you one. Let's see. Do you like weddings with a planner or not a planner?
With a planner, always.
Good.
But it depends on like day of or like
a full planner.
Full planner.
When it's the day of planner, I'm like
I need them to be there.
Oh, I need them to be there. I need them to call me like the day before, give me a whole rundown of the timeline type thing, because that's our job.
Yeah.
But when they're like, oh, this is how it's going today, I'm like, this is not how I do my weddings. No. Like, it has to be very structured.
Bare minimum, have an itinerary, final itinerary done for us. Or else we're literally just going to be, like, floating and hoping for the best.
That, like, we show up to these weddings and they think they're just hot shit. Like, these vendors, like, DJs, like, acting like they're higher than us and they're just, like, more knowledgeable. I'm like, we all are working this wedding. Let's work together as a team type thing.
I know. I've had really great experiences with, like, a lot of vendors where they're, like, we don't know what's going on either, and we hope that we can like kind of figure it out together at the same time. And I love working in those environments because we're all rooting for each other.
We're working against each other, and like especially I feel like with videographers it's a little bit hard too, just because they want to get their shots, we want to get our shots, and that's why I'm like so picky with who like I have video with me now, and that's why I literally have only Kaylee and Tyler honestly at my weddings. But like so much stuff like when it comes to videographers, I feel like it just love them to death, but like meeting new ones, going to weddings, and
it's nerve-wracking.
It's definitely nerve-wracking.
Working with a videographer I will always recommend my clients to book a videographer if their budget allows it.
Oh, exactly.
But there are certain videographers that only respect their work and no one else's.
And that's like the worst.
And they will like
shoot over you. They'll bump into you.
I really don't want to have like any videographer slander right now, but
we get in the comments like, oh my gosh, what
I'm a videographer. What are you talking about? That's not how we are. No, but like some videographers don't give you a heads up like, oh, I'm moving in for a close shot or I'm doing wide shots. Like tell us, communicate with us and we will be more than happy to move or give you the chance to get your shots. Like
definitely.
For me, let me get my priority shots and I will literally give you the floor for like 10-15 minutes
like,
and you
guys
can get
have
it,
but don't like hover over me, don't like
like I've had weddings where literally we'll do like the final kiss, like the official kiss at the ceremony, and they'll all of a sudden just start zooming in
straight to the aisle. I'm like, what is going on?
Honey, whoa.
Exactly.
So then I have to compromise by saying like, oh, let's do second kiss, and then I'm like pa with my camera getting that fucking shot, and then they do it again.
Exactly.
And I'm like, did you not get the first one that you stole from me?
Yeah.
So it's just like all about communication and compromising. We all have a job here. Don't try to overlap us because then you're going to get screwed over as well. Because we're going to get...
overlapping. I have such a horror story, but go on with it.
We're going to ruin your life if we want to.
Oh, I will be a petty ass bitch that day if someone gets in my way at weddings. Let me tell you this.
We're nice people until you purposely
sabotage me, my couple. I'm like, man, it's over for. Like,
it's not about you. It's about the clients.
It's about the couple, and that's about it.
Exactly. It's not about us.
They hired you to capture it, not be in front of everybody.
It's not our wedding.
Oh, exactly.
It's not your wedding. You know, it's like their wedding day. You just need to capture whatever's going on, and that's about it.
Exactly. So speaking of the story of like a wedding horror story, I have one right here. Oh my gosh, it was, I think, I'm not gonna give dates, but within this past year, and I showed up to a wedding, completely booked me and everything. It was just me. I didn't have a second shooter, nothing like that. I showed up to like the getting ready suite, and there's another photographer just waiting outside. And I was like, I thought maybe it was a videographer type thing, so I introduced myself. I was like, hey, like I'm Jaden, I'm like the photographer for the day. And she's like, oh, that's weird, I'm the photographer for the day. And I, like, when my mouth, like, dropped to the floor, I was like, because this has never happened to me before. I'm like, you don't hire 2 wedding photographers.
And we don't really think about adding that as a clause in our contract either.
Because it's not, like, a normal thing to do. And, like, I have it in my, contract that, like, you can't bring, like, other people to take
I need to add that into mine, actually.
I'll send you a little clause. But she showed up, and the mom told me, she's like, yeah, we hired our family photographer for the event too, and she just wants to get every photo that you're getting. I'm like, what? Like, this is my brand. This is like what I work for. Like, we have complete different. Like, when I tell you, she was like showing up in like a Canon T5 like camera, like acting like she owned them.
That's what I started with.
And she was using flash like outside, like when it was daylight. I'm like, what?
No.
I'm like, so I just like accepted it. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna just try to get over it. But then she kept going. Like we did the bridal portraits, and then she started like getting mad at me when she couldn't get her shots in. So I was like, the Aries in me finally came out, and I just snapped at her. I was like, listen, like I will pull up my contract. Like you're legally not supposed to be here right now. Like I'm shooting this wedding type thing. They hired me. And you're like in my shot, like your flash is going off like with every photo. And she was like so like in shock that I even like brought this up to her. And she was like in awe. Like I was like, realistically, like you shouldn't be at someone else's wedding if you weren't hired for it type thing. Like especially you're going behind another photographer's back type thing. Cause like you're stealing my work. You're stealing.
You weren't even like aware of it.
I showed up thinking it was a videographer, and she is like a cool, I mean, not cool. A complete like wedding photographer. I'm like,
yeah. And
I see her photos, like, and she got those sneak peeks back with them, and like right after the wedding, so I didn't have time to upload my sneak peeks to send them over to her. So of course,
it makes
me look bad because it's like people know me at that wedding, and like they know my work is, and then they see that photo, and like that's not my work one bit at all. Like, we don't work together type thing.
Yeah, and then they associate her work with yours, and you're like, wait a minute, we're not associated with each other at all.
Exactly, and like that's like one of my biggest pet peeve that ever happened with me. Like,
oh my gosh,
yeah, it was a horrible thing.
Ew.
Mm-hmm. Like you would have.
No shade to the girl, because obviously I doubt
she didn't know. Like she didn't know at all, and I felt so bad. But like I brought it up to her. I was like, legally, I'm like, I'm the wedding photographer for the day. Like you're just a family friend here to like be here as a guest, but like you're shooting this whole wedding with me. Like during the ceremony, she was like right behind my back, like telling me to switch my lenses, like telling I need to like get this shot from over here. I'm like, I'm like, sweetheart. I'm like, your wedding Instagram has like 100-something followers with one wedding on there compared to where I'm shooting all my weddings and stuff and know what I'm actually doing. It was
shut up.
Yeah. I didn't really tell anybody the story just because it happened like recently, but like it did.
I would have gone home.
Oh, I was so upset just because I felt like a shitty photographer I was, just because like she was telling me what to do, and like I usually don't have people tell me like,
yeah, who are you to tell me?
Exactly, I know what I'm doing type stuff, and like when she started telling me like I have to do this pose, like get it from this angle, like your lighting's fucked up, I'm like, what? I'm like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, that was like my biggest like wedding photography horror story, and I had to share that. T.
Oh, I'm like speechless.
Shock right now. I know.
Yeah, no, I would have left immediately. That's not okay at all.
I was so excited for this wedding too, and like when
that's so sad. All went
down, I was like, not even like try to like bring it up to my couple, but obviously you don't want it to be like a mean like I'm asking her to leave type thing. Like she could stay, but like out of respect, like
go enjoy the wedding.
Yeah,
be with the family,
exactly.
Be with the friends, enjoy your time, get drunk, get sloshed, and whatever.
Like, when my biggest pet peeves is like when my second shooters or anybody that has a camera are in the back of my photos. And let me tell you, like a good 75% of them, she's like with her little flash on in the background. I'm like, girl.
Yeah, jail immediately.
Jail.
Yeah, there are certain things that we go through, and it's just like, why are we being put in this position and made out to be the villain when we're just here to capture everyone and like make our clients happy?
Exactly.
But yeah, that's the only tea that we're gonna give you.
That's all of it. I can't give you any more.
We could give you more, but we're not
contracts.
We're in contracts, so no NDAs. But I'm just saying. But we just have to keep it under wraps, just to respect our clients and their privacy.
Yep.
Even if the experience is bad, which honestly is very rare for me. I'm very.
I never have any like bad horror stories. Like usually all my couples are perfect, fine. Like it goes.
Yeah, they're pretty normal. They're pretty sane.
You just like, hear like these few horror stories, and you're like, wow, like you deal with this.
Literally
like,
happens
it happens
once.
like once in your lifetime type thing, and like
once in like a year. Mm-hmm. There's always one bad nut.
Oh, definitely. one bad nut. Goodbye.
Well, I'm gonna conclude it there because Jaden and I could quite literally talk for
all day.
Well, we actually have done that on our editing nights. Yeah. So we're not going to do that to you because that's a lot. And if you guys want him back, just let me know because we can go back. We can
go back from the very first thing we met.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Your
again,
episode
so proud
6?
of you. Like, you are a boss ass bitch, like, with a podcast,
Thanks, bestie.
6-figure business. Like, you are.
You too, sweetheart.
You are one of a kind, sweetheart.
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 No, I'm so glad you were able to be a part of episode 6. Will you please give the audience your Instagram? So just give me like your personal or your
my business photography account is at JSonive Photography. It's JSONIVE Photography. And I have my portraits account. You can find that in the bio. I also have my personal link in that. Everything's in that. So follow me.
Yeah, follow Jaden.
I promise I'm a funny guy.
Yeah, and if you would like to book a session with him, we have very different styles, so I'm not going to be crying in the club if you like book with Jaden. Like, I will respect that. It's not going to hurt me, I promise. But yeah, go follow him and then follow me. TrishvTalks, TrishvPhoto, Patricia Ivy Vo, yada, yada, yada.
All the above.
I'm going to franchise that. I need to at this point. This is a whole thing. But yeah, that concludes episode 6. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.